Hey, everybody! Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. We are here. It's the two bald guys today,
Absolutely.
except you have more hair than me. You have facial hair.
A little bit.
But I might have bushier eyebrows. That's all right. Yes, Ryan is not with us. He is on vacation. So lucky him, right? So actually, we get the privilege of having Steve with us tonight. How you doing, Steve?
Well, thank you. I'm doing wonderful, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. Steve is a wonderful, wonderful man. He's one of my best friends. In fact, he's my longest standing best friend ever, I think.
And I'm sitting right now.
And he's sitting. Yep, but he's the gentleman that is in a single duel with me. If you haven't checked that out on Spotify or seen on our YouTube channel, you can look up a single duel. We play music together. It's a lot of fun. But
Check it out. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
but we're not here to talk about that. This is a show all about you guys. This is Don't Worry Wednesday. It's the show dedicated to you, the stuff you guys are going through. We are not professional therapists, counselors, or anything like that. We're not a substitute for any of that. In fact, a lot of times it's helpful to have a therapist or a counselor. I myself am in therapy, and for good reason. And it is good. And I would recommend it to just about everybody, to be honest. But we just want to be your friend and we want to help in any way that we can because no matter what you're going through, even if you're going through something that requires a therapist, it really really helps to have friends around you that you can count on, that you can rely on, that will love you and encourage you. And that's what we want to do here. We want to love you, encourage you. We want to offer maybe some perspective because sometimes when when we're in the middle of something, we might be looking at one little narrow spot of the issue that we're dealing with. But there's a whole situation to look at. And so it helps to have somebody outside the situation looking in to, offer some perspective because then, it might point out something that we lost place of. So anyway, awesome. Guys, I'm excited. How about you, Steve?
I am pumped, man. I am pumped. It's been a little bit since I've been on here. I'm happy to be able to fill in for Ryan on the show and looking forward to a great evening, man.
Yeah.
What do we got on the docket for today?
Oh, we got a whole bunch of stuff here. Let me pull up the list. Princess, how are you
Okay.
tonight?
I am doing wonderful. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. Princess is our chat room hostess. She's our spreadsheet ninja. She keeps us on track. She does all kinds of great stuff. And she also reads our topics now. I mean, Princess has this ever expanding list of duties on this show. Wouldn't you say, Princess?
Fitting of a princess, I would say.
Fitting. So fitting of a princess.
It's all that
Absolutely.
behind the scenes stuff, that's so important, but you don't see it. But it has to happen to make all of this happen. So
Oh
thank
my
you
god.
for being a part of this, Princess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was funny. She started doing some of this stuff. She didn't really even ask permission. She just started doing it, and it was great because we were like, as soon as she started doing some of this stuff, she's like, "Yeah, this would be good. You guys need this." And we were like, "Do we?" And then all of a sudden, when she started doing it, we're like, "Yeah, we do." And then now, anytime, and now anytime when we do the show and Princess isn't here, it's sort of like a real struggle.
When you get to rely on somebody for a while, yeah.
I know. One of the last shows that Ryan and Princess, were you here on the last show?
The last show,
Well,
yes.
maybe it was 2 shows ago.
It was when I was. It was because the one that you were there, I wasn't there, and then you were gone, and then I was there at an airport at Don't Worry Wednesday doing the tech stuff, but not the voice stuff because
That's right.
I'm an overachiever. Put it
Yes.
lightly.
Yes. Amazing. Yeah, I remember that show without you, and I remember Ryan and I were just kind of like, We got to look at all this stuff now. Well, Ryan, Ryan's cool as a cucumber. He's just like, hey, whatever. But I'm sitting there like all freaking out. But anyway, yes, let's get on with the show, shall we?
Let's.
All right. So I'm gonna read through the list of names. We've got some topics in the queue. Oh, also, if you guys have a topic for us, there are a few ways you can get us to talk about it. You can put it right there in the chat. We will grab it from you there. You can send us an email, dww@bss.studio. That's dww@bss.studio. Also, you can put it on our website. Princess put the links up there somewhere. Yes, she did. Because she's what did you say? What, the keeper of the links? Was that it?
Yes,
Princess,
that's it.
the keeper
I'm the
of the
keeper
links.
of the links.
Yes, it is amazing. There they are again. You can click that link and it'll take you to our website. You can make a topic right there, or you can direct message us on Discord. Myself, Princess, or Ryan. It looks like Ryan's not on here right now. Well, because he's gone. He's on vacation. So if you DM Ryan right now, he probably won't get it. But yeah. And the best ways to be anonymous are to send us an email or direct messages on Discord. If you want to be anonymous, do not put it in the chat. That's a good way to not be anonymous.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would have to agree with that.
Yes. So, but yes, those are the ways you can get a topic for us to talk about, and we would love to talk about your topic. In the meantime, here is the list of names. If you hear your name, let us know you're here, and we'll be happy to do your topic. So we have Ian Lam, Ezekiel Games, Dracon, LG, Toast, Immature Success, Anonymous, and obviously Anonymous. If you're here, you don't have to let us know. You can ping one of us on Discord or something. Amira, Meow, and Baka. And I think I've seen Baka here already. If you're still here, Baka. But if you heard your name just now, you can let us know in the chat, and it'll be great. And we'd be happy to do your topic. In the meantime,
absolutely.
Can an anonymous topic be in the chat?
Well, it's kind of hard to be anonymous when you're, in a public chat.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you were asking, like if a friend of yours messaged you and you put it in the chat for them and said, this is from my friend who's anonymous, then...
The other way you could do it is because of the way that this or YouTube works, you could actually make different account names. You could just have it be your account, but be under a different name, therefore creating anonymity.
Anon-mouse. This is anonymous. Joe is cool. Joe is
anonymity.
Anonymity. Anyway,
that's
another way to do it. But if you really need it anonymous, there's plenty of ways. So just reach out anonymously.
Or you can just send us it in an email.
Just make sure you mention that you're anonymous in the email. Otherwise, we'll ask, and it'll go longer.
Yes, very good point.
Yes. So while we're waiting to see if someone pops in here, Steve, I got a question for you. How's your dog?
My dog is awesome. Thank you for asking. My wife and I recently got a dog, what is it? A Great Dane, Great Dane Retriever something. It's a giant stinking dog.
Well, it's a black lab mixed with a gray.
Black lab. That's what it is. Lab. It's a Labrador Retriever Great Dane mix, or whatever you want to call that. So he's 8 months old right now and weighs about 60 pounds and can pull a pickup truck down the road. But
oh
no,
my gosh.
He's great. We started dog training and it's been, oh my gosh, it's been fantastic. Anybody with a dog training is so worth the money. I mean, you notice results after one lesson, man. The first time I took him for a walk, he's walking me around the lake, and now now he listens. It's great, but it's been a change. It's been a change for the family. You know, I got a 4-year-old autistic daughter, and she likes to have her space. And a lot of times, you know, puppies just want to jump up on you and play. And so there's some rules to be learned and boundaries to be set. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that takes time. But it's going good, and we're happy to welcome him into the family.
That's awesome. Rachel says, "Can we know your dog's name?"
Oh yeah, absolutely. His name is Tucker.
Tucker.
Yep.
Tucker, the black
Sometimes we call him
lab.
Tuck.
Right
What's
on.
that?
Tucker, the black lab slash Great Dane slash big old cannonball flying through your house.
Yes. Yes. Pretty much. Which good thing I used to be a licensed builder. So I'm very good at home repair because he may put holes in walls.
Yes, yes. I remember
But
that
he's
was
so loving. He's so loving and like just he's a big baby, man. Just a big old sweetie.
yeah. Well, I can't wait to come out and meet him sometime. I remember when you first were
Absolutely.
telling me about getting a dog, I was really nervous for you because you just did a whole bunch of home renovations and stuff, and I'm like, you're gonna get a big old dog that's gonna break all your stuff you just fixed. It's like, yeah, what? But you got training, and you know, sounds like he's doing all right, so that's good.
And I had to have, I mean, the vetting process on that was crazy. And Joe was actually one of my references that the pound or shelter or whatever had to call to, you know, verify that I could take care of an animal like this. And so thank you for that, Joe.
Mm.
And yeah, I keep a lot of drywall mud on hand.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Oh, Baka, thank you. That's right. The Bedrock server is outdated. I'm gonna have to do an update on that. Thank you. And an updated list of mods for both servers. Yeah, that'd be a good idea too. Yeah, afterwards, let's get on Discord and we'll address that. But yeah, Baka, you have a topic, and welcome
All right,
back.
man.
So you have a topic about self-doubt here, and I know just from the title I'm gonna love it. So yeah, let's do Baka's topic here. Let's see. Da, 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 da. If I can get to it. What? How come I can't click it? There we go. Ha! Computers. I'm smarter than the computer. Hey, Princess posted the link right there, so it's easier. Yes, and it goes right to Baka's topic of self-doubt. And yeah, so if you guys want to click that link and go to the topic, you can read along while Princess reads it for us. So, Princess?
This is Self Doubt by Baka. I find things that are so commonly talked about in society to be weird for me to talk about. I feel nervous about judgment of this. Writing this, I still feel the stress of judgment that I feel that wouldn't be there. I've only told 2 people quite recently, and they were bemused as expected, one literally today. I felt relieved telling someone about it, and yet I also feel like the more people I tell, the more I'll be judged. Which makes no sense, seeing it's so normal in our society, yet it feels so awkward to talk about.
Mm.
How do I get over this doubt that I have? From Baka.
Yes, this is a great question because I feel the same way. I have where's the link? Isn't there a link in the chat? Riku for you?
They're talking about you posting a link as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't post a link. I was trying to click one and I was failing.
You've moved on to the verification job,
Yes,
quality control.
I do verification. Thank you, Riku. I totally forgot about that. But Baka, this is really awesome because I feel the same way a lot of the times. Things that people are normally talking about, I just have a hard time relating with because the stuff that interests me is not necessarily the stuff that interests most of general society. Um, and it can be tough to relate to people, and then also you do kind of feel judged a little bit. Like I remember having a job where everybody was always up on current events, and you go into the break room and you get a cup of coffee or something, and and everybody's talking about stuff, and I was just totally out of touch with everything. And they're like, "So Joe, what do you think?" And I'm like, "I don't know what to think." Like, this is tough for me because I don't pay much attention to the news. I don't pay much attention to the newspaper. And current events aren't really my thing. And whatever's popular wasn't necessarily my thing either. I was just kind of doing my own thing. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. And yes, what is a basketball? A miserable little pile of secrets. Rachel asks for an example. You're a little
I was kind
confused.
of wondering the same thing. That's kind of a broad general topic, but I can still see exactly where you're coming from. But yeah, some examples would be great. What is there anything particular that's on your mind here?
Well, I know one of the big thing to address is the self doubt that comes as a result.
Yes.
And so self doubt is one of those things that I think everybody probably struggles with from time to time. But yeah, Baka, if you want to put some examples in the chat, we can get started on your topic. So uh, I'm going to turn it over to Steve, and we can at least get talking about the self doubt portion, and then we can get into deeper details if you have some examples. So, Steve, take it away.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a touchy subject. I get where you're coming from, and it's tough when you can be walking into a situation where you've got people on both sides of the fence that have these different opinions, and they're asking you yours, and you're like, I just really, you know, you just don't care. I mean, to put it, blatantly, and sometimes it's not that you don't care about the subject that's being talked about, but the drama that can unfold, from people with opposing views on that. And I've dealt with that quite a lot, and a lot of times I feel it best to, if that's the particular type of situation that I'm going to be in and I'm being asked these questions, I'll just kind of divert it, and it, not give a definite answer either way, to kind of keep the peace, and just try to go about my day. And it's tough. It sucks. That's not a fun feeling, and then it makes you doubt yourself, and then you're thinking like, well, did I say something wrong? Is there something I should have said? Is there something I should not have said? Like, and that can be tough, but just know that you're totally normal. That's sometimes we run into situations like that, and it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's okay to doubt yourself.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I hope it's okay because I do it a fair amount, actually.
I do as well. I do as well. I doubt and second guess myself time and time again, and that's one of the weird beauties of being human. To be able to feel and process emotions like that. So just it's okay, man. It's okay. You're not
Hmm.
alone.
Yep. And it's very interesting because I think a lot of times, even the people who appear to be like really, really confident and really, out there and just like boom, like we see these people as really, really confident and maybe commanding presences, right? But then deep down inside, they still have that frightened little, you know, piece of them, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I know I definitely feel that way. I've found a lot of times if my confidence is shaken, I find myself apologizing a lot. Have you ever found that, Steve?
I'm I'm thinking. Yeah, actually, yeah, I would say that that is correct. I had to think of when my confidence was shaken, and I recently had an incident at work that involved, being uh, kind of attacked by people, and that shook
Mm,
my confidence. And yeah, that's how I reacted by immediately apologizing. I'm just doing my job.
mm,
I'm just the
mm-hmm,
messenger. Don't shoot me. I'm just here to work. I didn't cause this problem. You know. Yeah, that's actually the first thing I reverted to, just subconsciously. That was my first instinct.
mm. Yep. Cellular says that's just normal for me. I just apologize normally. Yeah, you know, hey, I do it
Yeah.
on a daily basis too as a property inspector, because I find what that does is it disarms people. And so it's just kind of part of my
Yeah.
script as I approach somebody, I approach really apologetically. Um, but we do have an update here. Baca says LGBTQ things are some of the things that are difficult to talk about. And I definitely understand that sentiment because it's a really touchy, hot button subject for a lot of people, and you
Yes,
know
it
it's
is.
it's tough because we don't, you know, you know, you never
We're
want to
still figuring
offend
out how to
somebody,
talk about it without offending people.
right? Exactly. It can be a really, really difficult thing because you never know what you might be used to saying that might be offensive to somebody else. And I can remember tripping over my tongue a handful of times. And one of the key things, I'll tell you this, if you're going into a situation and you're not sure how to address a situation, I can say this for sure. If you put love in your heart for the other person and compassion in your heart for the other person, most of the time you're going to be okay. Even if you trip over your words, even if you have trouble expressing something, or you know, even if you're walking through that uncomfortableness and you say something that could be offensive, if you say it lovingly and you have genuine love for that other person in your heart, what'll happen, and at least in my experience, is they will lovingly correct you or lovingly educate you that that could be seen as offensive. And yeah, but they won't do it in a mean way most of the time. They won't be like, oh, all put off. They'll just be like, yeah, actually, you might want to try and put it this way instead. I realize, you're doing the best you can. But and so a lot of times that seems to be the case. We've dealt with LGBTQ stuff on this show a handful of times, and it always it makes me a little nervous because I never want to say something offensive, but I always want to come across as loving because I love all of these people, no matter what, no matter what orientation anybody is. They're a human being, and I love them, and I want the best for them, and I hope that comes across. But yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from and the self doubt on this one. Steve, did you have anything else about this? Now that we have some further clarification.
That's, I gotta say, I'm right there with both of you guys. That's a tough subject, and I think what's so hard is now we live in this like cancel culture world, and people are picking apart everything that everybody says. So when you're dealing with specific groups of people or types of things or whatever, like you have to be pretty specific, or else you're really going to offend somebody, or you're going to upset them, hurt their feelings, or worse. So I think this is a new thing that everybody's learning, and I'm still learning it as well, um, and will continue to. And the only way I can learn that is from just communicating with people and talking to them. And, I have, thankfully, I personally have some friends at work that are in the LGBTQ community. I might have missed a letter there, but you know what I'm saying. And
Mm-hmm.
I can be like, hey, how do I don't want to sound like a jerk when I'm talking to this person or whatever. Like, how should I approach this situation? How should I do this? And they've been more than happy to help me and give me advice. And some of them are really good friends of mine. I mean, so you can't judge anybody by that. And it's just going to take some time. I mean, we're all figuring all this out and trying not to, trying to say how we feel about people and situations and stuff, but to say it in a loving, polite manner,
Mm-hmm.
not something that's degrading or that's going to hurt somebody. That's never what we want to do. And I think we're just finding out how to do that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
how to do that in the proper way with the proper words. It'll take some time, but we're getting there, We're all learning. And if you're sincere, people feel that, they're not gonna hurt you for that. I really do believe that.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Baka says, I have no issue on the topic. It's just something that's hard to say to others. And yes, I understand.
You're darn
Um,
right it is. It's not. It's one of those topics that's kind of like sticking a thorn in your side. I mean, people just don't want to talk about that. There's people that have been, you know, I mean, you can understand why people wouldn't want to talk about that. You got people that are like sexually frustrated for years because they're like, I'm gay, but everybody around me tells me that I can't be, and that's wrong, and they get confused, and it's really really tough for them, man.
mm-hmm.
It's tough.
And then on the other side, pardon for jumping in, there's
No.
also some people who feel super comfortable about the topic and are advocates. And then they'll talk your ear off about it when you kind of may not be able to follow along with what they're talking about. Not because you're, trying to be rude or anything, but just you don't know what they're at.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely correct.
And it's one of those things that's very polarizing at times, or at least
Yes.
it gets portrayed in that way of, you know, that it has to be accepted and all that as is upfront right away this instant. And that's not really how people truly, I think, feel about a lot of the time. I think a lot of people are understanding of, everyone's at a different spot with different understandings.
Mm-hmm.
But there's somewhat of a pressure or something like that, that's out there of just it being something that people are all open about 100% and they're all okay with it, when there's a lot of people that might be nervous about it too, because again, people aren't always super sure of themselves
Mm-hmm.
in their own doubts of who they
Absolutely.
are or what they want to be or what they think they should be.
And
Mm-hmm.
that circles right back to the self-doubt, like you just said. That's it right there. You hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm. One thing I'm glad for in this topic with the LGBTQ community is that it's becoming more like it's emerged into our society more. I like that it's more open, that we're talking about it more, because I can remember years ago when everything was a lot quieter and everything there was like a subculture of the gay community, right? And I remember having a coworker who was gay, and he's a wonderful guy, and we got along great, and he was awesome. And I remember him telling me things about how I was portraying myself, that little different things that I was doing that would make a gay person think that I was gay, because they had this little subcultural code of behaviors, right? And so it was very interesting, because just naturally I would be doing these things, and then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, well you're gonna get picked up. Like somebody's gonna be asking you out," and I'm like, "What?" Like I didn't even know, but it's I'm really glad that we're able to talk about it now. We're able to be open about it now. And, everybody's starting to become more accepting. Now, there are people out there, like Princess was talking about, there are people on the LGBTQ side that are advocates that are like in your face about it. And I would say there are also anti advocates that are also in your face about it. Now, I don't think they're as loud as they used to be, but you still find them, you know? And like Princess was saying, it's a really, really polarizing topic at times because people feel really, really strongly about it. This is something people identify deeply with in their person. Um, yeah, we've got some good stuff going on in the chat. Sally says, I think that some, not all, people talk about the topic specifically just to get polarizing reactions and to get offended or offend others. There are ways to stop that, but I don't know what they are. Others have legitimate concerns related to it. Absolutely. And Princess is finishing what I was about to type. It also has made portions of what used to be comfortable very uncomfortable, Tara says. Yep. It does worry me
Yeah.
how it has become
Yeah.
more open, though, at least near me. It has led to a larger risk of sexual harassment for everyone. Yep, you really have to
Really?
be careful sometimes. Oh, yeah. I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I can remember being I was in the pit orchestra in a show. I was in the theater community and the dance community a lot, because I'm a musician, and so I was playing with all these people. And there was a lot of alternate lifestyle. There's a lot of LGBTQ people that gravitated into those communities back then when I was doing this. And I would always have to be careful. I think I was engaged at the time. And my fiance was like, "Yeah, you can't say that." She was a dancer, and so she knew, like some of this stuff. And she's like, "You can't say that. You can't do that." Like, what'd I do?
I didn't know.
I don't know. She's like, "You're so naive." I'm like, "I am. I'm sorry." But yeah. So
That's okay.
sometimes,
That means you're genuinely not a jerk.
right. I'm just, yeah. I'm just dumb. I'm sorry. Um, Real the Dreamer, it's only a matter of finding people you can trust about it. It's hard, but little steps help. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, man, it can be so touchy, and that's why the self-doubt can be so high. Is because we don't want to offend people. We don't want to do the wrong thing. We don't want to give people the wrong idea. I mean, I can remember a guy following me from the locker room to my car at the gym that I used to work out at because I had done something in the locker room that apparently was some kind of code that said that I'm available. And so this guy took it as a message and he followed me out. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm just like, hey, man, how's it going? And he's like,
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't know you didn't know the code.
I didn't know. And so I told my friend, my coworker, that about this the other day. I'm like, yeah, like this guy, he followed me out. He's like, well, what did you do? I'm like, well, I did this. And he's like, yeah, oh, yeah. Yep. That's code. He thought you were going to take him. He thought you were going to go home with you or something. Or he was going to go home with you. And I'm like, what?
Well, hey, at least you know that you must have been looking pretty good, man.
I work out, like, hey, but I don't know about that. I was much younger then, uh, but anyway, it gets touchy because you never want to do something that's going to offend somebody or give somebody the wrong idea.
Yeah.
But I found the best that I can do is just be honest. Just, like if I'm talking about something and they mention something or I read into them, like, be honest of like, hey, I just like, are you okay? I mean, I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable or, I'm sorry, I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable about the subject, or, just being upfront and honest about, how you're doing too, because, it's okay if it's touchy, because it's gonna be touchy for them, but it's also touchy for you. And the best way to resolve something is communication,
Mm-hmm.
generally.
Absolutely. Even if that
So-
communication is difficult to have,
Mm-hmm.
you
I'm
know.
I'm seeing in the chat everybody's talking about the codes. The codes
I see
were
that.
back. This was back when it was more of a subculture. Now that it's more open, the codes might not necessarily be there.
Well, to some generations they are, because to the generations that went through that back in like the the late 80s, the 90s, even early 2000s, those codes still might be applicable to them. And over time, as we evolve and people changed and stuff like that goes away, so the next couple generations might be indeed taking that away. But I think it still probably exists for a certain group of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just age dependent. Everything changes with time. As we get older, things change, technology changes, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tara says, take what you just said, Joe, and think about it for a second. I don't remember what I just said that I should think about. I've moved on, I guess. But this, yeah, not everyone will easily understand it. If there's no communication, it hurts people. I would agree absolutely with that.
Me too.
And yeah, the codes, I don't know if they exist still or not. That was
kind of
just
like the unspoken thing, kind of like the unspoken rules that we have in the world. Like, if you're in the line, you're in the grocery store, like you don't cut in front of somebody in line. It's just courtesy. It's not a law, but it's a unwritten rule that most people follow. Yeah, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But if somebody is unaware and ignorant, then they're not gonna.
You're absolutely
then you
right.
might just do something wrong, and then all of a sudden, boom, Baka says, it's not that I'm weary of speaking about it, more of just getting it put there that I might take it wrong. I mean, it makes me think of club culture, though. Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of different subcultures out there that have different, like you do certain things in certain areas. I'm a Catholic. You go to a Catholic mass. There's stuff that happens there. If you're not a Catholic, you've never been to a Catholic mass, you're going to be like, whoa, they're standing, they're sitting, they're kneeling, they're standing, they're kneeling, they're standing, they're sitting. I'm supposed to know all these words to this. Everybody has it memorized. Nobody has a book in front of them. What is going on? Like everybody's saying the same thing.
I'm that guy. Going,
Chris
I don't
just
got
started
the book.
singing, and now you're supposed to answer in a singing refrain, and you have no idea what the note is or the words that you're supposed to be saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't have the sheet music. I've got holes in my jeans now. My back hurts. Up, down. People are staring at me. Yes. I grew up Catholic too, so I get you.
But you've forgotten all the stuff.
I have. So at the times that I have been back, I've been definitely the turd in the punch bowl, so to say, and it's been pretty obvious.
Yes. Rael says, as a Catholic, it's just a matter of pretending to play along. Yes, that's absolutely true. I'll never forget. There was this time we were out of town. Oh my gosh!
Me.
Talk about being out of place and having total self-doubt, right?
So, is this when you went to that other church?
We went, maybe. So
you got a couple good stories on this.
Yeah, this was crazy. You want to talk about being out of place and having some serious self-doubt and being massively uncomfortable, right?
This is it.
So I was like, we were gonna go to mass because the Seawalds, Ryan and his brother Kyle, and then Kyle's wife Diana and all their kids. We were all out of town when we were at a convention, and then we were like, hey, it was Sunday, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go to mass with you. Me and my buddy Jeff, who also at the time both of us were Methodists, and so neither of us were Catholic. And then, so we picked the mass, right, that we were going to go to. We're like, okay, let's go. And so we'll meet you there. And so me and Jeff are in one car, and then everybody else is in another car. And we go to this church. And we get there, and it's like packed, and we're a little bit late. And we go in, and we're wearing suits, right? And not everybody at Catholic Church wears a suit. Most people don't. Some people do. But here's us. We don't know what's going on. We just know we can't go up for communion. And we're like, and the Seawalds never show up. They never show up. And we're just sitting there, and we're like, what is going on? I'm looking around at the door, like, where are they? Are they going to get here? Are they coming? And it's like, no. And then all of a sudden, so we go and sit through this whole mass. And I was like, okay, we know we can't go up for communion, so we just sit. We're just staying in there. And everybody's looking at us. Everybody. It felt like everybody was looking at us. Maybe they weren't. But we're definitely out of place. And yes, exactly, Tara. We went to the wrong one. We went to the one that we decided on. Right? We went to the one that was like, hey, this is the one we're going to go to. We'll all meet there. Perfect. And then we get there, and they never showed up. They went to a different one because they got even late. They were even later. And so they were like, well, now we're going to miss most of it, so we better go to a different church. So they picked a different church altogether and went to one that was a little bit later. And they didn't bother to call or say anything. No text messages. Nothing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep. It was crazy.
And what's funny is that wasn't even the one. That was one of the stories I was thinking of. But what came to mind when you first started talking about that was when you went to you were out of town and you went to church and happened to be like an all black church and you were the only white guy there.
Oh no,
You remember that?
That was different. That was a friend of mine invited me to that. There was a guy that I knew. He was a pastor there.
I love that story because the love that they showed you there is like, oh, it was fantastic, man.
Oh, it's crazy. There are times when being out of place can be really cool. Sticking out like a sore thumb can be pretty cool. And in that instance, it was. Kind of.
But at that moment in time, it was probably super awkward and embarrassing and just like you just feel out of place.
It was weird.
I would.
I'd never been to this was like a Southern Baptist church. Like, yeah, funky rock down, music. Man. It was like, yeah, man, we're all up dancing. It was cool, but, and everybody, and I was Brother Joe. Even
I remember that.
The pastor is like, Brother Joe.
And they showed you the same love as everybody else.
Oh, but they were lining up. I got more hugs from ladies in big hats. Man, it was crazy.
That's what it's about, man.
Yep. Churches are fun, man. I'll tell you what. It's cool. But yes, it's awkward being a different in the crowd, but it is quite a good experience sometimes. You're absolutely right. And yeah.
It's like people watching at Walmart sometimes, honestly. It can be really rewarding if you sit there long enough. And usually you don't have to really sit there that long.
Oh my. Yes, that's true. So we have digressed a little bit from the topic, but do you have any thoughts on how to get past self-doubt, Steve?
Me? How to get past self-doubt?
Mm-hmm.
Not any ones that are nice. The times I've had to deal with self-doubt, which believe me, there have been many. The only way I've been able to get past it for me personally, this may not be true for everybody, but is to just man up and face it and just go through it. Whatever you're doubting yourself on, like I'm for me personally, when I was growing up, I had a lot of self-doubt in my ability musically. And I was very involved in the high school band, the jazz band. Band director kept giving me a lot of solos, and I hated that. I was so terrified, and I was scared to death. I mean, I would get nauseous, I would vomit, I'd have, stomach problems just out of the nerves. And what I learned was, if I just faced it and did it and didn't focus on how good or bad I did, just focused on the fact that I did it. Who cares if I played the right notes or I played the wrong notes? At least I got up and I did it and tried and gave it my all. And after about 500 times of him putting me through that, it got to the point where it was like, hey, this ain't no big deal. I can go and play in front of 15,000 people and, hit some wrong notes in a solo. Big deal, whatever. It's, it's just training yourself mentally, but it's not easy. I had a really hard time with it, so I totally feel where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with that. And Tara says one of the best way I get out of self-doubt is music. You can totally do that if you got music to listen to that can pump you up, or music you can play that pumps you up. One of the things that Ryan always talks about is embracing the awkward.
Yes.
Find ways to put yourself in awkward situations, and it's good practice sometimes, because
then you can face anything.
You
put yourself in enough awkward, weird situations, you'll be able to run into, thing after thing after thing in life, and what would like normally throw most people way off track and be like, holy cow, you'll be like, I can deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great thing to do. Absolutely.
Yep. Now you don't have to start off. You can start off small. I mean, for me, I had to start off with just making eye contact with people. That was awkward enough. Because I'm an introvert, and so just looking people in the eyes was scary for me at one point in time, and I had to get over that. But yeah, those are some things that you can do. You can totally do that, and every once in a while, it helps to laugh. It helps to be able to laugh at yourself. And, sometimes I can take myself too seriously. I think we all can sometimes. And to be able to laugh helps a lot. And to really, laugh out loud. It kind of releases some tension. Another thing you can do is physical activity. I've noticed that helps to get over some self-doubt. Even if you're not in like really good shape, just going for a walk can help. But little things like that, and also working at things and accomplishing things. Those things all build a basis of self-confidence that then when you get into other situations, you'll have a more solid base. And we want to be improving that all the time, right? So if we can do that, it can help us get past a lot of this stuff. But anyway, Baca, thank you for this topic. Your pet band got canceled tonight. Oh, man. Pet band was always so fun.
And no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I didn't like it.
I got to play drum set.
Oh, yeah, you got to bang on stuff. I played saxophone.
Yeah, I got to play drum set, and we sat, and we were mean in pet band. Oh, this is awful. We were so mean.
I was only in it because I had to be in it to be in jazz band, and I loved jazz band and concert band.
You had to be in pet band in order to be in jazz band?
Yeah, you had to be in pep band and marching band and concert band to be in jazz band.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, they didn't just pick no slackers. They run you through the ringer.
Wow. Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, my daughter has been asking about that saxophone.
Oh, of course she has.
Uncle Joe's repairing.
Uncle Joe's repairing.
That's a topic for a different day.
Right on. Okay, Baka says my doubt has made me thinking I've painted myself wrong here. It's not that I talk bad about it, rather that I'm bi and I'm still same.
And also just know that you don't have to share. Like there's no pressure for you to either.
To share what?
Absolutely. We
That you're bi or
Oh,
anything
yeah.
like that. Any of your experiences, you don't
Yep.
have to share anything. Even if
Yep.
other people normalize and speak about it, you don't ever have to share anything you don't want to.
Exactly. No, you're
we
welcome to.
absolutely
We'll love you.
respect everybody's, privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
don't feel like nobody's ever going to try to dive into your personal stuff here. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yep.
unless you request it.
Yeah. And if you want to share, that's fine. We'll love you too. we'll
Absolutely.
love you no matter what.
Yep.
Because you're awesome. And
Darn right.
yeah. So no, man. Hey, I love you. And it's too bad about Pet Band. We used to sit behind the piccolos and whistle while they tried to tune their piccolos.
You jerks.
I know, we were so mean.
That's as bad as sitting behind the tubas and sousaphones and making fart noises.
It's just as bad as all of our trombone and saxophone players that would go up to an unsuspecting person sitting down, getting ready for class, and going really loudly in their ear.
What?
Yes, they got away with that.
What?
Yes. All right, busted many times.
Mean. Oh well. Bunch of mean
okay, I
band
guess
people.
marching band and pet band was fun at certain times.
Yeah. Oh well. But anyway, Baka, thank you so much for the topic. And yes, you're one of 3 trumpets. And I'm in the better 2 for first chair. Hey.
Go get it, man.
Yeah.
Get that first chair. You can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can. But
all saxophone players are such memes. Maybe I'm too old to understand what that means.
You are pretty old.
I don't get.
I mean, you're older than me now.
No.
You are. You're older than me. I'm still 29, and you got older than me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
29 and holding for how many? Yeah, I'm 29 too, and holding for how many? How many years have you been holding?
Doesn't matter. I'm still 29.
I'm 29 and holding 5 years. You're 29 and holding. Yeah, we'll just leave that there. That's okay.
Yes, it's all right. But anyway, Baka, thank you so much for the topic. I really, really appreciate all your topics. And also, yes, let's address the server afterward. That would be a good thing to do. So anyway, all right, let's move on. Let's see if anyone else is here. I will go back through the list of topics, and we'll see if I saw a meow pop up, and so maybe we will. Maybe he's still here. So here's the list: Ian Lam, Ezekiel Games, Dracon, LG, Toast, Immature Success, Anonymous, Amira, and Meow. And if you heard your name, let us know. And
whoever's username is Toast, I love that username. That is awesome because that's one of my favorite things in the world is toast. I mean, there's nothing better than a good old piece of toast.
Mm-hmm.
So good choice on your username. Hopefully you join us sometime soon.
Meow says save mine for next time. All right, we can do that. Oh, I'm guessing. Oh, this is about a song for a friend. I'm guessing maybe because it's a song topic, he wants Ryan's specific advice. That could be.
Oh, that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's going to be here next time. I thought it's
he
the time after.
Gone for 2 weeks.
Well, we can always
10
table it for when Ryan will be back.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a problem. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Of course.
So we can talk about whatever. So I said, I thought you were 19. Man. 19.
Yeah, you better be high-fiving them, man.
I wish. Man, if I
Please
was,
don't eat toast. Why? Why would you not eat toast?
because toast is a person.
No, not the person toast. The cooked bread toast.
Oh,
No, I will not eat the user toast. No.
Katie, thank you. I'll be young forever. That's right. You know why? Because I take collagen.
Yeah, and since you've been taking that and told my wife about it, she's been taking it.
It
And
works,
it
man.
makes her look like she is 19. I tell
Really?
you what.
It usually takes it usually takes a month or two, before you start seeing results.
Shut up.
But what?
I'm
What?
just kidding.
I'm telling you what. I got convinced. Sponsored by collagen. There's so many different
Hashtag spawn. Please sponsor us.
Hashtag.
No. I'm joking.
I only said that because I know she's in the other room listening to this whole conversation.
Yeah, she's right there. She's in the chat.
I know, and she's about 8 feet outside my door.
Yes, and you did already look young. You did, and you still do. Vibrant.
Absolutely.
Yes. Sponsored by Fountains of Youth. No, seriously though. My brother had this massive surgery. And it was like, because he had pancreatic cancer, right? So he had all of his guts removed and rearranged and put back in different places. And so and he had this huge incision from like his chest to his waist, right? And he healed so fast. And I'm convinced personally that it's because he was taking collagen like for a couple months before he had surgery and then after he had surgery, because what it does, that is for soft tissue repair. It's something that we have until we're about 18 or 19, and then we start to not have it. Our body doesn't create it anymore, and then by the time we're 30, which I will never be because I'll always be 29.
Yes, sir.
Your body stops making it. And so you can get it as a supplement. And so, yeah. Hey, I do give the young vibes. I try, but hey, I'm young at heart. Honestly, it's true though. My mom is taking some collagen. She still looks like in her 30s, even though she's 47. Yeah. Considering I'm 21,
sorry,
I look like I'm
reading
16. Yeah. You guys are awesome.
I love it. We could start a comedy show.
We could, and we should do more streams. I think this would be a lot of fun.
Well, especially with input from people. That makes it fun and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rachel, you still get mistaken for 18, and you're 32 now. Wow.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
there's nothing wrong with that. Take it, hold it, run with it.
You know what's funny? You're from like the same town Ryan's from. I wonder if there's a thing about that town.
What town is that?
Well, I don't know if I should say, but they're from the same town. It's in Michigan. It's in northern Michigan somewhere.
I know the town.
Yeah.
It had something to do with the water and the radioactive goo that was in there. I'm pretty sure.
The radio. Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought it was the donut shop in town, Goodale's or whatever. There's this donut. They had like the best donuts. They probably keep you young.
I mean, I can't see why not. It's not like they would cause, clogging of arteries or cardiac arrest at all.
Everybody looks young in this town. Yes. And welcome. Oh, this is your first Don't Worry Wednesday. Hey.
Oh, well, thank you for joining and welcome.
Welcome.
What is this, Flint, Michigan? Hey, now, buddy. Yeah, you can say that. I'm from Flint, so
yes,
that's cool. And
Wait,
yeah, it was just like that.
Ryan's here.
Welcome.
Welcome, Ryan. Yep, and
Hey,
Barron's from
what's
that
up?
town too. Same town. Yep, it's the donuts.
It's the donuts. Okay,
And Rachel,
Ryan has confirmed
you're
it.
still there. Must be you had good deals today. They are great donuts. I lived in a town an hour away, and we would have somebody drive and bring donuts to my workplace an hour away from this town for those donuts. Mm-hmm.
Well, for good donuts, you got to go to some extraordinary lengths.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Ryan said it was the donuts, so I mean, that's it, man.
Would you agree, Baron, that it's the donuts that keeps people young in that town? Likewise, you retain a preternatural youth. Yeah, see? It's the town, man. Yep, a 2-hour drive for donuts. They are that good. Uh-huh. And nope, it's not Flint. Ooh, punchkis are the key to life. Oh, you know what? Mm. Mm.
They are really good.
Mm-hmm. I like punchkis. Fat Tuesday is a great day.
Is that how you say it? I've never known how to really pronounce that word. Has anybody else
Yeah,
run
punchki.
into that where they don't know how to pronounce the PACZKI word?
Yeah,
How do we say that? Is it punchki? Is it patski? Is it
punchki.
punchki?
Punchki. Punchki.
Punchki. Okay. And what is that? What language is that?
Polish.
Polish? Okay.
Yes.
Punchki.
Punchki. Yeah. Oh, on the box you get it shows how it's pronounced in different places by different people.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
I haven't bought any in quite a while. I see it come up and I'm like, I don't really know how to say that.
I'm sure they're better from up there. Yeah, and Ryan's right. Jesse also has a baby face. His wife Danielle. Everybody from up there looks young. It's crazy.
It must be something with the water.
I don't know.
They
did have a big forest fire there once. That could be it.
That's not good.
Punchki, Punchki, Paxi. Paxi. Yeah, I've seen that.
I've heard Paxi before. I've heard that quite a few times.
Yep.
Especially up in Traverse City.
Yep. Yes. Traverse City is beautiful. And, it's interesting. Here we are. Hey, if you guys have a topic you want us to talk about something, feel free to post it in the chat. Unless you want us to keep talking about donuts.
Please do. We are open to just about anything within reason.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll talk about whatever topics. Ryan's probably got a topic. Oh, talk about bagels. We could talk about bagels.
Okay, here's what you need to know about bagels. The only good kind of bagel is an everything bagel, toasted, loaded up with Philadelphia cream cheese. End of story. Done. Next topic.
No.
Wrong.
Bagels are seagulls that flew over a bay. End of story.
Wow. Man, I have a story about bagels. Would it surprise you that I have a story about bagels?
Me,
No,
not one bit.
Because I have a story about everything. So I have this buddy who worked in a bagel shop, right? And he's a really creative guy, and he's good, right? He's really good with what he does. And he made these bagels. He got there early. Part of his job was to get there early and make the fresh bagels for the day. So he got there really early, and they were like, yeah, after he worked there for a while, he started getting creative. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to make bacon bagels.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't that sound good?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Bacon bagels. And so I don't remember what town he was in. where he did this, but he made all these bacon bagels, right? And the owner came in and smelled it, and you can just imagine how good that smelled. Bacon and bagels cooking. Oh, that's got to smell so good. And the owner was just like furious. He's like, "What?" He said, "Do you realize that 90% of the people that come in here are kosher? Like they don't eat pork, they don't eat bacon, they don't eat all that stuff." And so he had to like wash all the pans, wash everything had to be like disinfected, the ovens, everything, because like they can't even eat anything that touched it. So they had to like throw out all this stuff. Ugh, it's crazy.
Man,
Yep.
that's a bummer.
Yep. So I don't know
But
if he
I
got
do
fired
see
or not, but
the world may never know. But one thing we do know is that we have another topic here. You wanna talk about this one here, Joe? Would you like me to read it?
yes, we can totally do that.
We've got a
let me
topic here. Looks
copy
like from
paste it.
Soaking Pillow. Making the right decisions and moving forward, even if the right choice is potentially depressing.
Mm.
Man, it's how to make the right decision and move forward when the choice is potentially depressing. Man,
Ah, hold on.
that's a, that's that's tough, man. That's one of those decisions where you have to go with, your gut in your heart, and unfortunately sometimes it doesn't always doesn't always turn out the best. I mean, it can be depressing. I've dealt with some of that recently, actually this week, situations that didn't really turn out like I would have hoped them to, and they get depressing. But you have to just do what you know is best and what you feel is the best decision, and just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this could be taken numerous different ways. What do you think, Joe?
Well, this is, yeah, sometimes doing what is right is hard. And,
Sometimes it means you're standing alone.
mm-hmm, yep, yep. Sometimes you're going to stand against culture in doing the right thing. Sometimes you're going to stand against an authority figure in doing the right thing. Now, I'm not saying to just go and disregard authority, but there are times when the right thing is not what the authority figure is telling you to do. Now, we should be respectful of authority, but also, we need to do the right thing. And if the right choice is potentially depressing, now I don't know if you have any uh, specific instances or examples of what a choice that might lead to something depressing would be. I'm not sure, but sometimes um, we get into a situation where something's a mess. We're kind of trapped, and we have to get out. And what that means is undoing and unraveling a whole bunch of stuff, and it's going to hurt. And there's going to be a time of pain and maybe mourning or sadness, but eventually leading to a better result. And I think sometimes, you know, that's true. I know people who have done the right thing knowing that they would probably go to jail. And I'm so proud of them because they did the right thing. You know? Um, Static says, I think it's best to remind yourself of the end game. We do the right thing not because we want to avoid suffering, but because it creates the best ultimate good. And that's absolutely right. Ryan, spoken like you were right here on the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even the comment before that from, what is that, Lyra the Dreamer? I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. Making the right decision doesn't mean it's not painful. And you are absolutely right. There are so many times in life where you will have to make a decision and you know in your heart it's the right decision, but from the outside and what everybody else sees, they make you feel like it's the wrong decision and you feel like you've made a bad call. That will happen, and that is an unfortunate, sad part of our society that is one of those things where, you know what, you just keep your chin up and you just power right through that. You just don't pay attention to them. You do what's right. You know what's right. That will come to, fruition in time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Soaking Pillow says, the hard decision that I just made was withdrawing from a class that I was struggling with. I don't like to fail or let people down. I don't like to do things halfway. And sometimes, yes, it is right that it's the best, the right thing to do would be to withdraw. Sometimes we need to protect our GPA by doing that. Sometimes we need to, maybe we're overwhelmed and we need to, pull back a little bit, but sometimes those right decisions, in this case, it seemed that to get through college, I have to drop this class, but I want to know the stuff. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I don't want to admit that I can't do it, but if I keep the class, I'd probably fail more than just the one class. Yep.
But you're doing it smart.
Mm-hmm.
The way you're describing it, you're already doing it smart. Okay, this is something you want to learn about, but you also want to, graduate from college, and you want to get that achievement. And if this class is going to hold you back, whatever, it'll be there. Drop it for now. Don't feel bad about that. Do what you are good at, what you love to do. Pass it, get your degree, and then if you want to study it, go back. I know plenty of people that have gotten degrees and then decided years later, hey, I want to learn something on this, and they'll go back to school for a class, not for a piece of paper or a degree or anything, or just to get the knowledge, And nowadays, a lot of that is online, and you don't even have to go back to school. But don't feel bad for dropping something to protect your GPA so that you can graduate. Like that. That's just smart thinking. You've already got the right thoughts going on, so just keep at it, man.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Thanks for being here, Lyral. Have a good breakfast and a good day.
May I speak on this a bit?
Yes,
I know you might have other things. But...
you have a story to tell, so
I
want
have
to hear your
had plenty
story.
of experience in this department.
Yes.
In good ways and in bad ways.
Yes.
In high school, I took AP chemistry. I am not built for AP classes, and I was getting an F for the first time ever. And I stuck with it, even though I was told by others, like, oh, well, you should just drop it. Or, my parents tried to get me tutors and all sorts of trying to help me with that class. And it just was not going to work. But for me, I felt that I needed to experience the F. I needed it. That was the right decision for me, knowing that it would affect my GPA, knowing all of these things. And even though people told me, oh, save your GPA, oh, do this, do that. That was a moment where I needed that to push me forward, to understand and to become better. But I have also experienced a class that I wanted to take. It's called quantitative analysis, because I am a very meticulous person when it comes to my science, and I enjoy it, and I loved it, and I loved the lab portion of it. But I also knew that I could not live with the stress of the class. Now, I mean, in this particular class, it wasn't that I was failing it, though I have experienced that too. And I would agree that, if you got to do what's right for you, even if that's something that's sad, In this case, I was getting suicidal over this class. I spent 4 hours every single day writing down a textbook into this tiny notebook that was a bound book to try and bring that to a test, to try and find the word for word answers that this test was looking for, that I could put it in, only to fail it with a B at the highest grade I could get. That class, I was one of the top kids, and no kid had an A. The highest that the class had as a whole was a B+. And it was terrible. I tried my very best. I tried my heart out. And no matter what I did, I was always in the sense of failure, as if that's supposed to be encouraging, as if that's supposed to be right. And at some point it was like, well, I'm not in a good mental space. I'm stressed out beyond belief, and I have to drop this class. And this is at the point of where it gives you a W on your grade book. You know, you can still drop it, but you have to pay a fee for dropping it and that sort of thing. And I did that, and that made a world of a difference, because now I could focus on my other classes and I could do well at them. And if I wanted to another day, or even at a different college, if I want to, I can go back and I can take quantitative analysis, and I can do it, and I can learn the material. And where you at, maybe you could even find a different teacher and a different thing. But, you know, taking and dropping a class and taking it again later is an okay thing to do. As another story of Princess's secretly not so great grades. Over the summer, I went and did like a world history thing where I got to visit China. Very awesome experience. Thoroughly enjoyed the visit. It was amazing. Then you had to write a paper. And that did not happen. And then it was like, then it was denied. It was like, oh, thank you. And then I was supposed to do that. And that did not happen either. So that class ended up as a wonderful, lovely F, because that did not happen. So I did, because I still wanted the grade and I wanted to take it and I wanted to do it, but papers are just not my thing. I took it again, a different semester, where they let me redo it, and I got a different grade, and I got a much, much, much better grade of an A to then have on my lovely grade book.
Yes, that's much better than an F.
So, I mean, and I say this not to embarrass myself or to, you know, make it seem like, oh, you should, you know, not do well, or, you know. And I know that there's going to be struggling with understanding material. And, you know, there are ways you can do that and take that class when there's an easier class load. There's bound to be easier classes that you'll take at some point, and you'll shuffle that into your schedule there if you can. Or you can find, there's usually tutoring resources or such. But if you want to take something, you can also potentially ask about taking a class not for a grade. I don't quite know how it works, and I don't know where it works where you're at, but there are also some things where it'll be like, hey, you can sit in on a class and you can kind of learn the material, and you can do that in a way where the grade is not actually on your grade book. There's also certain things where they'll do a pass fail instead, if you is a modified thing. They again don't do that for many things or everything, but there are potentially options out there. So just because you have to walk away from a class right now because you know that's going to be what's best for you, doesn't mean that you can't revisit it, can't find a different capacity to take this class and learn the material, or that you can't, you know, do something else with it. Like, there is options out there. And this is a great time to, if you have a career or a school counselor of some sort, as I'm sure many colleges have for their students as resources, they probably could tell you what options you can find, you know, and there is no shame in knowing your limits and following them, because that's a very important skill you're going to need to know, of what you can do and what you can't do, because you're going to have limits. And that doesn't mean that you can't try to push the boundary, but if you push the boundary too far, you're just going to make unrealistic expectations. That is not going to help. You're just going to be stuck in this feeling of that you can't do anything, when that's not the case. It's just, with the situation at hand, you can't do this one thing in the way it's being presented. But that doesn't mean that you can't change your situation or change, you know, how you think about getting to that answer. So I've talked probably far too long, so I will return it back to Joe and Steve.
I don't think so, but wow,
No, that was great. Absolutely.
I
Thank
can,
you. That was wonderful.
yes, I can totally relate to that. I can totally relate to your situation with your class, Princess, and I can relate to you, Soaking Pillow, on what you're doing here. I wish I would have had the knowledge to do what you are doing and withdraw from a class and, say, hey, I can't do all this. I'm going to need to scale it back a little bit. Because, biting off more than I could chew because I didn't know any better was probably a big reason why I ended up dropping out halfway through my second semester of college and having a nervous breakdown and suffering from massive panic attacks that I didn't even know what they were and or how to deal with them, and nobody knew how to deal with them. I was just catatonic for a while, like frozen, and it was nuts. But a lot of that had to do with just being so overwhelmed. And then getting behind, and then being overwhelmed because I was behind and overwhelmed, and then everything just starts to cascade and pile up. Knowing your limits, like Princess was just talking about, is so good for your mental health. Knowing your limits and understanding them and living within them. It's, I mean, and like Princess was saying, I love what you were talking about, Princess, because you can push the boundaries. You can try and stretch a little bit. But man, if you stay overdoing it for long enough, it's just a recipe for trouble. And so I think you're doing the right thing, Soaking Pillow. It says, I'm probably going to take a class that I don't care about that I'll be able to get a passing grade in next semester instead of the interesting class this semester. It's my 6th year on my BS, which I'm assuming is Bachelor of Science, not the other kind of BS. But 6th year, hey, you know what? No shame, buddy. I went to college
Not at all.
I went to college for 8 years and I didn't ever get a degree.
Very good point.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. BSS. Yes, static. Um Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Yes. That's some interesting stuff. You got to be good at math, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And but it gets to be some interesting stuff. Um Yes, Rachel, there's a difference between challenging yourself and stretching yourself so thin that you're harming yourself. Absolutely. I have been so guilty of stretching myself too thin. Steve, have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, you kidding me?
You've never overworked yourself, have you?
Never, not once in my life.
Let
Yeah,
me,
I've overworked myself to the point where it hurt the relationships with my family and friends around me. Um, and that can be a huge problem, man. That
Mhm.
really can. And it's a decision you have to make, and you have to constantly keep at to stay in this, almost like these boundaries, because me personally, I went way overboard, and it was just go, 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 work, 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 work. Never stop, never stop. Never see your family, never see your kids, never see your wife, never see your parents, your friends. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, you can definitely push it too far. You have to find that moderation that is healthy. You know, it's got to be a healthy moderation. There's nothing wrong with putting in long hours and busting stuff out, as long as it's in a healthy manner. As long as you're not neglecting yourself personally and your family and friends around you while you're in the midst of doing that.
Mhm. Yep. Just to give you some background, Steve is one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life. The first thing that he ever did when I met Steve for the very first time, first thing he ever did was work for me.
And
And he didn't work
moved
for
your
me.
toolbox.
You moved my toolbox. Well, you helped me move my toolbox. I pulled up my GMC Jimmy to the back of the music store where I was gonna be working at, and Steve was at the back door, and I was like, "Hey, you want to give me a hand with my toolbox?" He's like, "Sure." And so that was like the first experience I ever had with Steve. It was awesome. And
that right there is how Joe and I became lifelong friends.
yep.
That one instance right there. And it was as simple as that, like, hey, you want to help me unload my toolbox? And I'm like, sure.
Because it was heavy. It was a heavy toolbox by itself, and it was full of tools.
Yeah, it was heavy, dude. That thing was like 80 pounds, man.
Yeah,
Dang.
that's if it's empty. It's 80 pounds, and then but it was full of tools, and
Yes,
so
it
like
was.
yeah, so we had a good time. But yeah, no, Steve works really hard. I've been known to be a hard worker from time to time. In fact, I should have taken this advice more recently. My therapist actually told me that I can't take any more extra work from my clients and inspections because it was really, really having it was making some problems. Let's just say, but so sometimes you can do that with work. You can do it in school. You can do it in anything, right? You can overdo just about anything. And what happens when you overdo something? It suffers, and so does everything else. Like Princess was talking about, that class where she was trying so hard to get a good grade and could never, ever get above a B. And because of that, because of the strain in that class, it was causing everything else, all of her other classes, to suffer. That's the same thing that happens in life. If we're overdoing it in some area, that area will falter as well as all the other ones. And so like Rachel says, balance, it's really, really important. To try and find some balance. I don't know if we'll ever get perfectly balanced in our lives. I don't know if that's possible. But we can strive for it.
All we can do is try.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And take cues from people close to us. Take cues from our friends, our close, trusted friends, and our family. If we're in a relationship, if we're married, whatever, Sometimes people know.
Yeah.
There are times when I really wished I would have taken my brother's advice. Yeah, there are times when I really wish I would have taken some of my friends' advice, And looking back on it, I'm like, oh my gosh, they were really on track, and I was so far off track, and now I got to deal with this situation, right? And, sometimes it just goes like that. But a lot of times, if you're like me, I figure out, no, this is the right thing to do, and I'm going to go this direction, and I'm not stopping.
Yep. That's one thing I've always respected about you, is that you, Joe, are one of those people that will get focused on the right thing. And when you get your mindset to something, you go, boom, you're going towards it, and you're either jumping on the train and joining you, or you're getting the heck out of the way. Mm-hmm. And you're going to do it, and you're not going to, for lack of a better term, half-ass it.
I'm committed. I have commitment issues.
French.
Yes. It's all good. I have commitment issues. I was recently talking to a friend, and I'm like, yeah, I've got commitment issues, but it's not the commitment issues like you would normally think when people say they have commitment issues. I commit too much. and for too long a lot of times.
Like bite off more than you can chew. You feel?
Well, I'll just be committed and I'll stick. And I'll stick long after the writing's been on the wall for a long time.
Very relatable.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
I'll just be committed. And, I'll see the writing and I'll be like, nope, this is the right thing to do anyway. My
That's
friends
'cause
are all
you're a-
screaming at me, nope. Sorry.
But in your defense, you're a very dedicated, longevity focused person.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that is going to be natural.
That's true. Yep.
And hey, we all live and learn, man.
That's
we all
true.
live and learn. Pedal to the metal, baby.
Pedal to the metal. I remember hearing a guy talk one time. He said, yeah, when I die, I hope I skid 10 feet. I was like, yes.
You might as well go out doing what you love.
That's right. That's right.
Apparently, he likes motorcycles.
Yep. So, yes, Soaking Pillow, if you want a lifelong friend, you need to find someone who's trying to move a toolbox and help them.
Yes.
That's exactly how it is. Yep. Or if somebody asks you to help them move a toolbox, that's it. Now, neither of us were
Or-
bald at the time.
What's that?
Neither of us were bald at the time.
No, actually, during this particular time that we're referring to, Joe and I, believe it or not, had hair. And if someday maybe somebody will hack our servers and get pictures of this, and I am not lying, as God is my witness, at one point in time, Joe had hair down to his butt crack, and I
It
had
wasn't-
dreadlocks down to my waist.
I didn't have hair that long. It was down to about the middle of my back.
Yeah, okay. You had long hair. You had pretty long hair. It was
Yep.
about middle of your back.
Yep.
Maybe
I did
middle
have-
of your butt crack.
Yep. It was, yeah, I had pretty long hair. Steve had longer hair. Dreadlocks. It looked cool, too. Oh, man.
I looked way cooler than I really was.
Yep. It was awesome. But anyway, yeah. Doing the right thing. We've gone so far afield. Princess.
I know. I apologize. It's probably my fault. I'm the other person kind of stepping in here and stirring up the pot a little bit and filling in, and so I tend to get off topic here and there, but it's all in good fun. We love you guys, and you've been
Yeah.
sticking with us, so we're doing something all right.
Yes. What color dreads? Blonde.
No, they were brown. They were my normal hair color. They were
Really?
brown.
They
Yeah.
were really light brown.
Well, I had the tips of them bleached.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right.
I was one of my favorite bands in that time, and now was POD, and I'm a big fan of Sonny Sandoval, their singer, and he had these beautiful, beautiful dreads, and I just wanted those, and so that's what I did. I did everything that I could do to achieve that. The person that actually did my dreads was the lady that did the dreads for the singer of Counting Crows, I believe it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the black guy that's got the poofy dreads
Yeah.
that comes
Oh, yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, up in Traverse City. Yeah, that was my hairstylist.
He's from Traverse City?
No, he's not from Traverse City. She was his hairstylist.
Oh, and then she moved to Traverse City.
She always lived in Traverse City. He got his hair done there.
What?
Oh yeah. Wait, she had pictures of him with
What?
Grammys and stuff in her living room.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he didn't know anybody there. He just came there to get his hair done. I'd like to have
Wow.
that kind of money. Just
Yeah.
fly. I'm gonna fly
I'm
over
gonna
to
fly-
California to get my hair done.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
We can all dream.
Yep. Yep. But wow. So we've got. Do you have anything else on the topic? Actually,
Me,
about doing the right thing. The right thing is to get
unfortunately,
dreadlocks.
I think I have pulled everybody so far away from the topic.
It's not
I
your fault.
apologize.
You are not 100% to blame in all this. Princess, did you have anything else to talk about this topic?
I don't think so. I think I pretty well covered what I said and what I said,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of better English.
I heard what you said. What you said was exactly what you said.
I think I said what I needed to say. So
You did.
Right on. Yes. But nope, you did the right thing. And I'll tell you, your topic was interesting because what you said, Soaking Pillow, was making the right decision and moving forward, even if the right choice is potentially depressing. And it sounds to me like if you if you didn't make that choice, it would lead to depression and anxiety and trouble. So really, you probably avoided a depressing situation by making that right decision. And like Static said in the beginning, I mean, you have to think of the end game. You have to think of the end. You know,
Yeah.
how is this going to work out in the end? And now results aren't necessarily always the full picture, because like in Princess's case, she stayed in a class and got an F because that was the right thing to do at the time, because sometimes failing something can motivate us. Our martial arts instructor would always tell us, hey, one of the best thing that ever happened to me was I failed one of my belt rank tests. And he would tell that every time somebody would fail. There'd always be one or two people that failed a belt test, or sometimes more depending on the material that we were going over. Sometimes there'd be a whole handful of people that would fail a belt test, and he would say it at every test. The best thing that ever happened to me was I failed one of my belt tests, because what that did was it caused me to regroup and work extra hard next time to make it happen. So when you look at the grand scheme of everything, are you making the right choice? And I think in this particular case, withdrawing from the class, that was the right choice.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
and learning material later, I would go and talk to your advisor or counselor, whatever they're called at your school. I know they can be called either or. And just ask them, hey, I really want to learn this material. Can I take this class not for credit in a lighter semester? Or maybe after I graduate or whatever. Is there a way to take it online? Is there a way to do, stuff like that? Whatever. Sometimes I learn things by looking it up on YouTube. That's how I learned how to make
a lot from YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot.
Depending on what it is you want to learn, sometimes you can just figure it out if it, but yeah, one thing, you strike me as a person that will never stop learning. And I appreciate that about you. That is so awesome.
That is the best in my mind. I'm sorry to interrupt, Joe, but just when you said that, never stop learning, like that, I was taught years ago that is the mindset you need to keep throughout your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
If you just remember, you're never stop learning. You never stop learning. You're always learning new things. The world is changing, technology is changing, all that stuff. Just be open to learning, and as long as you keep yourself humble in that manner, you're gonna go far, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're gonna go really far, because a lot of people let their pride and their ego get in the way of learning something new.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quite the shame, you know. So you're always learning, and I've been a professional in the construction and building field for um, um, well over 10 years now, and I'm still learning every day. I'm still learning something new, and I'm always open to learning new things. That's how you grow. That's how you expand, and never cut yourself short or hinder yourself by not accepting that. Try to learn as much as you can. It doesn't matter if you get a paper that says you did great or you did bad or whatever. All that matters is what you retain up here and how you apply that to your life in the future. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. I practiced what I preach in that recently.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been playing drums for this long. I just bought 2 drum method books because I wanted to learn some stuff. I got 4-way coordination, which is a whole bunch of just really boring exercises that just train you to operate independently each limb, like your 2 hands and your 2 feet, right? To disconnect them so you're totally independent, right? And it's all just exercises to do that. And then another one called Advanced Funk Studies, which just sounds really cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, I would buy that book just for the name.
Yep. It's cool. I mean, I've been playing drums for 33 years, which is striking because I'm 29 years old. You know?
Yeah, I'm not that good at math. Okay, I didn't do good at math in college. In fact, I dropped out before I got to that, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't add up.
Yes. It's fun. But you're ambidextrous, Tara. I like what you said there. Anything I can do better. I love that. Because it's true. Anything that we do, we can do better.
I think that's going to be my quote of the week. I love how it was taken in and slightly out of context, but it still fits together. I love that. Very nice with that. I'm going to be retweeting that later.
Nice. Princess, did I hear you? Were you about to say something? Or was I mistaken? I might have been mistaken.
No, you I'm amazed you caught that, but yes.
I did.
I was just going to say that, Tara, you're going to be in the Static P quotes, so.
Nice. That's always a fun day to be put in the Static P quotes. We need more people in the Static P quotes. Yeah.
Gotta say good things to get quoted.
Oh. It's a challenge. Yes.
Do we have like an ongoing list of Static P quotes?
Yeah, in the Discord server, there's a whole bunch of quotes.
Okay.
There's a bunch of quotes by most of them are from Static P, but there's a bunch from other people too. A lot from Don't Worry Wednesday, and a lot from the gaming streams, I think, too, right?
Oh, nice.
The gaming streams actually have their own separate one that was on a bot that I don't know if that still functions or not. We'd have to ask Jesse.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. We're all Static P. That's right. Yes, but anything I can do better. I still do my inspections job. I still try and find ways to be more efficient and to do it better. And I really don't like it anymore. I'm looking forward to not doing it anymore. Like, really badly. But I still, try and get better just because. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. We can always get better.
One large collective donut. Yes, that's terra firma. Yes.
Yeah, when I seen that one large collective donut, I really had to hold back from laughing, literally, out loud, because that was just hilarious.
Yes, Tara, you've sent me some pretty good music.
We're all a big collective donut full of sprinkles and cream filling and custard and cherries. And
better not be custard.
whipped cream and
I will
wait,
not
what?
share space with custard.
You don't like custard in your
No,
donuts?
no.
Dude, we got a problem.
Yeah.
What about
Joe doesn't
custard
like
on the
custard.
side of your donuts, like custard ice cream?
In the donut.
You're gonna put ice cream like Culver's custard ice cream inside a donut. It's an ice cream donut.
It's
I do love their ice cream. It's really good.
Culver's. Yeah, that's the frozen custard stuff.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the curd burger? Sorry to go completely off topic, but I
Curd
feel like
burger.
if people haven't
Wait,
heard of the
the
curd
what?
burger that happened,
The
then
what
it just
burger?
needs to be a public PSA here.
Wow, I've not heard
So
of
there
this.
was one day about like 4 days ago that it was originally an April Fool's thing of, oh, we're gonna put a giant cheese curd in a burger because that's what people would want.
Yeah.
Until the internet demanded
Yes.
it, and therefore they made the curd burger in very limited quantities that they released on National Curd Day, that they claim that they have some stake in creating on the calendar of national food things.
Really?
So hopefully it'll come back in next year. Yeah.
The
I would
curd
love
burger.
to put
This is
some
a Culver's
cheese
thing?
curds on a burger.
Yeah, it was a 1-day thing. So it was like a very limited time quantity kind of like fad type thing.
This
where
was
they put a giant cheese curd patty type thing on top of their double cheeseburger or whatever.
Oh, that would
That
be
sounds
glorious.
delicious.
One
Absolutely
comment was, that
delicious.
sounds disgusting. I'll be in line.
Oh no, I think it sounds great. And I gotta say, I cannot, please tell me I'm not the only one that thought I heard turd burger like 5 times. I'm just saying. Am I the only one that heard turd burger?
Nope, you're not. But then I put 2 and 2 together. But
But
this was a
immediately
Culver's thing,
after
right?
that, I said,
Yes.
that sounds
Okay.
delicious. I would love one of those. So I was referring to the curd burger, not
Yes,
the turd burger.
with a C, not a T.
The curder
Yes,
burger.
The curder burger. This
Yeah, that
So
sounds
that's-
great. I'm really hungry now. Thanks, Princess. Now I gotta
You're
get.
welcome. That's why I run the Sunless Taco Bell as a
Now I
D&D
gotta hit up
company.
DoorDash.
Oh boy.
But we should get wrap it up here.
Yes, we totally should. But thank you for that. This show has been sponsored by all kinds of people. Apparently Culver's, collagen, and all kinds of stuff.
And everybody here.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us and sharing your topics and sharing in the chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks for talking about donuts and going on all the different tangents about different kinds of foods and stuff. We had a great time, and I'm hoping you guys did too. But we will be back next Wednesday for Don't Worry Wednesday. In the meantime, if you have a topic, feel free to reach out. I'd say reach out in the chat, but don't anymore because we won't watch it. But you can send us an email. You can put it on our website. You can message us on Discord. And also, feel free to message us on Discord whenever, just because we like having friends. My DMs are
Absolutely.
open. You know, if I don't get to it in a day or two, DM me again. I'm sorry. But I'm usually on there at least for a little bit every day. And yes, there's the links. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about next time, do one of those. And yeah, we'll see you next time. I'm not sure who will be here next week. I will. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I have a soccer game. Pretty sure I don't, actually.
I think I might. Isn't Ryan gone next Wednesday too?
Ryan is gone next Wednesday as well.
I think I may be right here next Wednesday as well.
Oh, you're
I
going
will
to come
be-
back?
I think I very well may be coming back, either me or Katie. But it might be me, and if it is, I apologize. You're gonna have to deal with me for another week.
You've been a wonderful guest, Steve.
Yes.
It's been
Well,
wonderful to
thank
have
you.
you.
You
Yes.
have been wonderful with helping us with everything with the links and all that stuff. I couldn't even pull up this Zoom meeting thing if you weren't here. We appreciate
It
it.
is my honor to help. And thank
Yes.
you, lovely chat, for being here. We couldn't have this show without your love, support, and topics.
Absolutely. You guys
Absolutely.
are amazing. You guys are amazing. And we love you. And
We
until
love you
next time,
guys.
we'll see you. Have a great week. We'll see you guys next time on Don't Worry Wednesday. Take care.
All right. Have a great evening.
Much love.